What's up, everybody? As I said in my other video, I am going to become a truck driver. Steps to that, of course, you got to get some sort of training. There's a few people that can go out and let somebody borrow have somebody let them borrow their truck, and they can go take their skills test and go from there. But that usually don't happen, just because most companies can't hire you without experience. And then the bigger companies that can, a lot of times they're going to make you, or most of the time they're going to make you have a certified CDL program, or a CDL program they recognize. To get in these programs, there are some that will let you do your learner's permit testing on site. Where I'm going, and the schools I talk to here in Nebraska, they'll let you do it on site, but it's preferable that you get your learner's permit before you go. The reason being is a lot of these guys, it seems, from talking to an instructor there at Northeast Community College, it seems like a lot of them don't really study till they get in and think they can read it for a few minutes and pass a test, and he said most of the time they can't pass it. So it's easier for you to go out, and if you're going to mess up on your own time. That way you're not hurting yourself in the long run. You have it before you go in, you get more time in the truck. So, anywho, I was told when I contacted JTL in Omaha, the lady there, a very nice lady, she told me that your learner's permit would just be over the general skills. When I talked to Ed Lewis there at Northeast Community College, he kind of told me the same thing. So I read the CDL manual. I downloaded it on my Kindle, and I read through everything. I read through the general stuff. I read through the combination vehicles, the air brakes. I read through the hazmat ones. But I read through the generals 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I can't remember, a lot. I only read through the air brakes and the combo vehicles a couple times. Well, last night before I took the test today, last night I got to reading through stuff, and it seemed like most people had to have a DOT physical and they had to take the test over not only the generals but the air brakes and the combo vehicle. Well, so I stayed up real late last night doing reading through the combo and air brake sections a couple of times, and read through them again this morning. And I've been doing practice tests like mad. Every practice test I can find on the internet, doing every single one of them. So this morning I of course did my general ones again, which I've been doing very good, done them enough times. And I went through my air brake and combo vehicle ones. I got confident enough that I could do fairly well. I went into the courthouse. Their driver guy was there today. I filled out my paperwork, went in, and yeah, he said all I had to do was take the test on the generals to get my learner's permit, which is pretty cool here in Nebraska. I don't know what other states make you do, but Nebraska, that's all he had me do. So I went in, and they got your little computer deal in front of you, a little touch screen thing, and you gotta put your earphones on so they read you the test. And I don't like that. I wish they'd give me the option to turn it on if I need it, but I don't want it to read every single time. But it's 50 questions. You got to get 40 out of 50 right to pass. And in Nebraska manual, it's sections 1, 2, and 3. It's your section 1, I think, is your introduction. Section 2 is your safe driving, things like that. And section 3 is your load securement and transporting cargo kind of things. I really paid a lot of attention to sections 2 and 3. I did not, however, pay too much mind to section 1, so when I took my test, I only missed 2 questions. And the first 2 questions, I think, were on that first section. I know there's the ones I struggle with a little bit. The test itself, like I say, I only missed 2 questions, but it's a lot different than a practice test, because a practice test directly mirror kind of what's in your manual, and your test, your real test, it's a little more difficult. I think it's like a regular test, which seems stupid for me to say, but I've been out of college since I was 19, so those tests like that I'm not used to. So it took me a little bit. I know there was a lot of them, a lot of questions where all the answers were very, very similar, and you had to pick the best one. So it was, you had to pay attention to what you were doing. You couldn't just select the first thing that you came to. All questions were multiple choice. They had 3 different answers for each question. You had to select which one you thought it was going to be. But I say, I only missed 2. I was really relieved. I was shaking pretty good doing it. Like I say, anxiety does that to a dude. After we got that done, the guy was pretty impressed. I only missed 2 of them. I BS'd with him a little bit. They said, do you have your DOT physical, your med card? And I said, I don't. They said, well, to get your interstate, or I think it's interstate, your Class A to go out of state, he said, you need to have your physical before I can give you the license, or before I can give you the LPC, a learner's permit. And he comes back every so often. He's in the next town over every 2 weeks. And here, today is February 19th. He'll be back here March 5th. So that's pretty cool. So he printed out a piece of paper that had a barcode on it. And I got to keep that. So when I get my physical, the people that do the physical, if they want to, they can fax it in to the DMV and they'll send my license out in the mail, or my LPC out in the mail. He said, if you don't want to do that, said you can just get there, you get your med card, whatever, and bring it back in next time I'm up, and he'll scan the paper and get me my permit, and I'll pay him the $12.50. I have been dealing with some pretty crazy chiropractic issues, being a former meat cutter. Been over all day long. You know, your neck and your shoulders and your ribs and everything hurt. And I haven't been able to go to the chiropractor for a long time, and it's really gotten bad in the past week. So I want to go to the chiropractor before I go get a physical. And I got told the doctor here in town, I live in a town of 1,100 people, and I don't live anywhere near a big city, but the doctor here called him $185 for a physical. And I can't afford to pay that. Called the doctor Nord that does them. She said that theirs is $96, which is cheaper. My uncle gets his done in Grand Island, which is a little ways away. He gets his done for $67. But I'm not worried about it. I guess I am worried about it, but you gotta have it. I mean, you can't let one little hiccup deter you from something that you really want to do. You know, there's been multiple hiccups on this road. I'll get into them later in different videos, but all in all, recap on that LPC. Pay attention to your numbers. I paid attention to the numbers. Your tread depth on tires and things like that. I didn't have anything like that on the test. I really made it a point to remember numbers and things like that, and none of that was on the test. It was just that oddball stuff you wouldn't think to remember. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. Pretty easy though. I'm very happy with myself for it. So, yeah. Hopefully it'll all go well from here on out. Hopefully everything will go smooth after I get my physical and everything else. But and for those of you looking for information on the test, it wasn't that bad. A lot of oddball information, but I read through the book enough times it wasn't too bad. but just pay attention when you're reading. I would recommend taking your practice tests on the internet, just because it helps you, it helped me anyway, keep that information in my mind, kind of lock it in place. So, kind of give me an idea what to look for. And then I was able to focus on other information, I apologize, afterwards. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching.